Hello and welcome. This is Robert Schein, Managing Director and Partner of Blanke Schein Wealth Management. Today is August 4th, 2020. We're going to get into several topics. The first topic right out of the gate is Tale of Two Economies. Then we're going to talk about the 10-year Treasury. Once again, an all-time low for the 10-year Treasury. We'll discuss that and the impacts of that. And something that's underlying underneath all of this is Congress's stalemate. So let's get right into our topics of the day, and thanks for watching. Let's discuss this. The United States is now really separating into two economies. Those companies that I've talked about before that are on the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 or publicly traded companies. Why that's important is because they had all along from day one access to capital. They could sell part of their company to get cash inside to continue business operations on both on a short and long-term basis, or even, as we saw, historic bond sales, issuing new issue bonds offering. It's been the largest in history in corporate America, even year to date. So we're breaking all kinds of records. And then again, those companies have the luxury of already being public and already have access to capital in the public markets. Now, the government did its best part to step in for small business owners and adding all these CARES Act interventions, from the disaster relief to the PPP and all these different programs for the small business owners. And that was good a few months back. But now, as we saw even on the individual, the unemployment benefits expire on July 31st, this last Friday. We're all waiting and seeing in terms of what the next move is going to be from Congress. Now, preemptively, monetary policy, so the Federal Reserve, signaled to the markets last week that they're going to be accommodative for a good long time, as long as it takes, and they'll do whatever it takes, is exactly what the market needed to hear, and that was last week. This week, I think they were sort of setting up the anticipation of Washington's stalemate. Washington is notorious for agreeing to disagree, and ultimately both sides are taking advantage of this crisis at hand. And it's absolutely tragic, because here's what's actually happening right now. We have 35 million Americans right now that are seeking unemployment, whether they're in the active payrolls or it's a shadow behind the scenes right now. But the reality is that equates to 20% of our U.S. workforce. Which is tremendous. 20% hit on our U.S. workforce. Those people are out of work or seeking for some job opportunities right now. And ultimately, that's not coming back right now, because if you go to all the bars and restaurants in your local community and you drive by, it's 120 degrees right now in Palm Desert, California. And there's absolutely no way where anyone can say, okay, this is the time for outdoor dining, right? For this restaurant to survive. It's not going to happen. No one's going to go in 135 degrees, because that's what my car reads when I leave here at work every day, to go outside and go out in the afternoon to go sit on a nice 136 degree patio in Palm Desert, California, and support my local restaurant. It's not happening. Just like if we go forward in when the weather changes, here it's going to be beautiful, but let's go back to Wisconsin. It's going to be freezing in the patios of when snow falls. So those restaurants that are open can't go outside, just like vice versa. So this has sort of been a absolute disaster as it relates to policy all across, like not really thinking through what small business owners need. So the markets are indicating that they need help. And how do we know this? That everyone needs help, from the small businesses to even extension of unemployment benefits. And how do we know this is the case? The 10-year Treasury. On Friday, the 10-year Treasury hit an all-time low, and we just went through that again today. So we have 53 basis points on Friday, which took out the previous low in March, which is 54 basis points for a 10-year Treasury, and now it's 51 basis points. So that's the blaring red light on the dashboard, financially speaking, of the economy, and it's not good. So there's a tale of two economies. The companies that have technological revolution that I've talked about before. It's the big tech companies that are essentially allowing us to work from home and operate and teach our kids and buy a whole bunch of laptops. That was our back to school shopping in the Schein household. So those companies did quite well as we get our kids ready for school. Is that back to school shopping, buying all the new technological gears instead of backpacks and everything else that they would need, unfortunately, because we have to stay home, right? But again, the small business owner needs help, and they need it sooner than later. The big red light on the dashboard is the 10-year Treasury, and it's indicating that it can't go any further. Otherwise, we're going to see some market pullback. And believe me, we were going to see some market pullback in the next couple of weeks to come. And that's going to present an opportunity for us here at Blanke Schein Wealth Management, because we believe it will be an opportunity in the short run. Long run, stocks are a long dated asset class, and there's tremendous bargains even still to this day. But we're going to see some rotation as we go forward. So we'll be able to take care of this for our clients at Blanke Schein Wealth Management in terms of managing and navigating markets, managing portfolios. But the reality is that Congress needs to stop this stalemate and help those small business owners and really think it through as to how they need help with rent assistance and helping their employees, and almost a growth incentive, some sort of growth stimulus. Forget about surviving. How about let's do a growth initiative, so once you have the ability to get through this, you have some incentive to grow your business again. And so maybe there's an additional stimulus down the road for small businesses. But essentially, keep in mind that 70% of the U.S. economy is consumer driven. So we need consumers to get out and about in terms of spending money again, but it's not going to happen anytime soon because this rolling pandemic or the coronavirus is going through, locking down regional areas across the country. So that's what it is. It's tale of two economies right now. We need Congress to act sooner than later. They're never going to miss an opportunity to take advantage of a crisis for their benefit on both sides, and both sides are equally guilty. And that's what the 10-year Treasury is pointing out. So we see a lot more stimulus, or a lot more turbulence ahead before we get sort of maybe even stimulus and even some help and assistance for the extension of unemployment benefits, as well as small business assistance on a go-forward basis. So that's sort of the update here from Blanke Schein Wealth Management. Short term, we see turbulence. Again, we're going to see that as an opportunity for our clients and take advantage of it. But the economy itself on a long term is signaling something by way of the 10-year Treasury, and hopefully Congress does act. So that's it. That's our update today. We're going to continue to report the news and what moves the market as we see it. And thanks for watching. Take care.